So just tell me, what do you mean by I just started to focus on technique and run? Do you come from a running background? I know you come from swimming, but...
No, I ran just for fun and like school level type cross country. So I was naturally good at endurance, but never like in our school system we have no focus like they do here where it's like, okay, this is what you're going to do. So, you know, nothing serious. So it was like when I went into the triathlon around the age of 18, I didn't have a background in training or coaches or any of that stuff. I was on my own pretty much the whole time. And but then, I read Born to Run when that came out. And that started myself and one of my good mates just going for our long runs, chatting about good technique, what's it mean? And that was the progression. And it took, you know, a year later when I ran 241 in Kona, and it was like, wow, what I've been doing works. So from then on, I've just tried to improve it further and further. And despite not having had a quicker run, I feel I'm running better than I was when I did 241.
Wow. Okay.
Because, you know, just conditions and you know, you up your bike miles and your run just drops off. So trying to find that balance is what I've just done this year. I'm definitely not going to try and push to get in shape for March. I'm not doing an Ironman in March. You know, we've been talking about that I'll come over to the Endurance Awards, go to Alcatraz, and 2 weeks later do the LA Marathon. So something completely different because I'll have a lot of fun doing that, and at the same time it doesn't require, you know, 30 hours of training a week. It's just fairly simple. I can just run and build up my running without having to try and ride 15 plus hours a week as well, until, you know, then I get into the swing of things, and I do want to do well, which goes against that trend a little bit. I want to try and get fit and race well in May, June, July. So that kind of does go against the trend of the last years. But I think if I can keep focused on just one build-up kind of thing from, like I did this year, consistently kind of from March to October, even if I just peak for a few hard races, that's kind of what I'm going for, just one long build-up, not trying to push the body really hard in March or something for an Ironman then, but just try and build up for an Ironman in around June, July, and then just try and carry that through like I did this year. I'm already planning my year much more than I ever have before. I've never actually sat down and like really planned it and gone, right, I need this block of training here and here, I need this race here and here, and actually going through and writing it all out, looking at it 3 times, changing it, looking at it again. So I'm already more focused on trying to perform at the races that I've chosen. So that's a big change, and I think, obviously that pressure is, I think I can just turn it into a positive and use it to focus more.
Okay, well, you know what, it'd be great, we'll sit down and chit-chat in about another 6 months, you know, see how... Well, you know what, it's good that you're thinking ahead about it, because it's a very subtle pressure that you don't know until you're there, and you have had the luxury of just, you're under the radar, you are the up-and-coming talent that everybody's, you know, his time will come. Plus everybody fluffed around off to Macro and Crowe for the last 5 years, right? I mean, they have been the story, and now you're the story. And so when you show up, I think it changes things a little bit. Any thoughts on the fact that every day now, every single day, we have 1 or 2 of the ITU athletes of now lining up. They've all put their intent out. So, you know, all the Courtney Atkinsons and Tim Dons and Yvonne Roders and short course. Any thoughts on how it might change things up a little bit to see these young different athletes? Because I think this is going to be a different year, because we have, when I say a lot, there are a lot of athletes from every country now have made their intent known to give it a shot. I think at the 70.3 distance, I think they will impact a fair bit, and you know, there's still a lot
they might have to learn about nutrition, and if they don't tick all the boxes, they'll fade. I had a friend of mine go out. He was running down Tom Low in Muskoka. He was, his first 70.3 race this year, and he'd made up a lot of time and was going to win, but he hadn't eaten any nutrition, and he bonked and finished third. So if they can learn that rather quickly what works for them, they're gonna be able to run really quick. I think a lot of them, they've got those engines, but at the same time they're not going to be. They're not superhuman. They're not a lot faster. They're not going to be more athletic than the guys that are already winning the 70.3s. I think it will just increase the competition a little bit. I mean, but there's so much depth at the moment. I do feel already that if you don't target a certain race, if you just think I'll do this in my training leading for another race, if someone else is targeting it, you're not going to win. There's so many guys that there's always one person targeting each race. So, that's the guys who are going to win. And if ITU guys can figure out how to target just a certain race. But in terms of Ironman, it's an individual event still. I see it as such an individual event. And just chatting recently about, that we're not going a lot faster than Mark and Dave were. And despite all the technological advances and all of that, and then you look at the impact of altitude and things like that. It's like, well, no one's going a lot faster because they live at altitude. You can't kind of separate those that do and those that don't at an Ironman level. The body has its limits and what it can do for 8 and a bit hours. And I think we're there. We're very close. The margins are minimal. I don't know in Ironman, like in Kona, no one's going to turn up and suddenly blow everyone away. In terms of time, it might in terms of on a different day, someone will do much faster than someone else. But the time itself, overall, Crowe's 8:03. That was obviously it was a good day. I went 8:09, and it was a really fast day. So Ironman, it's going to be a lot more subtle than what these guys do. For me, that's a way of building into the season and building in fitness and getting my running at a good level. Where then I can bring the bike in gradually when it's just bit by bit throughout the year to leading to.
Have you ever run a standalone marathon?
Not for like 10 years. Okay. And I ran a lot slower than I have running Kona.
Okay. So you understand what running.
Yeah.
So you're not. This is not. I'm going to go and run 245, 250, or 7-minute miles.
Yeah, because that's what I could do in training.
Correct. So no. Wow. Well, that that's.
We'll just see for fun and like. I do want to try and
220 sounds like a lot of fun.
220, it sounds like all sorts of fun. You know what? My gosh.
We'll see. We'll just see how training's going.
I like that you've put it out there.
But it's a goal.
That's great.
And like I said, I did say I'd do Melbourne last year, and then I got this problem. So if something crops up where it's not a good idea to go and do this marathon, I won't. But I think after, sort of 2.5 months of training, like 12 weeks of training from January. I should be strong enough that I can get through 42 Ks, because in my long runs pre-Kona, my longest pre-Kona got up to 40, and I'm running that at 4-minute K pace on tired legs, and so I think if I can just get in a few good weeks.
Well, I'll tell you what, everybody will be interested, because we remember the years when Mark Allen, had a shot at, he tried to run. Well, running a standalone marathon at those speeds was, I haven't seen a ton of success at it because it's a whole different deal. Triathlon running is strength-oriented running. There's nothing truly fast about it. I mean, if you're running 240 something for an athlete of your ability, it's not fast. No. The guys run 210 and under. That's fast running. So. Triathlon running is he was around 220. He was trying to get in the 220s too, but just I think the stress on his legs on a lot of these athletes, the stress on their legs is so much different because it's just at a different level. Whereas as a triathlon runner, you're running for strength and endurance, not so much speed. You just carry what speed you can through
Yeah.
it. So
I think I might learn a lot, and
I think you might. But you know what? I think it's
hopefully
great.
I can learn something I can bring across to why I get tired in the back end of the Ironman, and there's a lot of reasons.
Everyone gets tired in the back end of an Ironman. Just let me tell you that. That's okay.
There's no secret, is there?
There's no secret that everyone gets tired on the back end. If you're not getting tired, then you're Superman. Okay. I can see why you won in Kona. It takes a sort of a slightly more open spirit, I think, to be able to go with the flow, and you obviously have that. So it's going to be fun watching it this year. So good luck.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
It will be fun.
Yeah.